mother, bite! I see you circling down there. Come on, sweetheart. Damn. You obviously don't know who you're dealing with here. I won the 1960 All-American Scout Fish-Off. 16 bass and 12 blowfish. I was the champion. Of course, I was just a kid then, but I've gotten better with the years. If you were a person, you know what we'd call you? A CT. You nuzzle the bait, but you don't put out. Now, I'm going to try a different approach. It's called courting. You're going to love it. Here's how it goes. You're a terrific looking fish. You know that, sweetheart? You're a real knockout. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not just your body I'm after. I love your mind, your sense of humor, your intellect, your politics. I'm getting your attention now, aren't I? I respect you, darling. I love you. Now bite, baby, bite.
That's a good line. I'd fall for that.
Would you mind telling that to the bluefish? I usually do pretty well with that line. I must be losing my touch.
Maybe you need a different strategy. Have you tried caveman tactics? Hit it over the head with a stick?
Not my style. I prefer a classier approach.
What about poetry? Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate.
It's gone. Gone. You've driven that fish right back to the Atlantic.
Well, as my mother always used to say, there are other fish in the sea.
That's a practical philosophy. Cold-hearted, but practical.
You're getting a bad sunburn. Is this your shirt? Better put it on.
Thanks.
Don't lose heart. I'm sure you'll catch that fish tomorrow.
Hey, I'm Lillian Zelinsky. Everybody calls me Lil.
Eva Margolis. I forgot the pink house for the summer.
Holly House. We call it Holly House. I'm in Crabapple, right up there. We've all been wondering who got Holly House this year. The couple who had it the last 2 years split up. You're the only newcomer on the Cove. The rest of the cabins are the same old gang.
All the other cabins are rented to couples?
All but one.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to get used to being the odd man out.
More like new girl in town. You'll get lots of attention. I guarantee it.
I could use some attention. You're married, of course?
Not me. I'm the other one who isn't in the couple.
Are you one of those swinging singles I've read about?
Well, that depends.
You're an artist. A writer?
Nah, I used to sell time for a television station, but I'm taking summer off.
So you and I are the only singles?
That's right.
Well, it's gonna be a long summer. Hope you play chess.
I hate it. I like to fish.
You can't fish at night.
I could fish at night, but I prefer to do more interesting things. Hey, toss me those sandals, would you? This beach is murder on the feet. Thanks. You'll have to come to the opening of the season bash tonight. It's at my cabin right up there. Music, food, booze, dancing.
Were you ever married?
Oh, sure. Lots of times.
I was only married once. For 12 years.
12 years! I had one that made it 2 years and 8 months. 8 long months. Ray and Annie will approve of you. They've been together 9.
How many times were you really married?
I don't know, a dozen? Who counts?
Come on. A dozen husbands?
Husbands.
Husbands. You know, the guy in a tuxedo standing at the altar when you come down the aisle. Husbands.
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 How did you get Holly House?
Oh, it was a godsend. I left George on Wednesday, just packed up my suitcases and left. It gave me such pleasure to leave him with a Paisley overnight bag and a board of directors meeting in Chicago the next morning. He'd go naked before he'd bring a Paisley bag into a board of directors meeting. Well, he wouldn't go naked. He thinks he's underdeveloped. For all I know, he might be. We met in college, so my basis for comparison is limited. Is 6 inches small? There's this book I'm reading that says size doesn't matter. It's all in how you use it. Foreplay is everything, this book says. It's called The Female Sexual Imperative. It's by a woman doctor. Have you read it?
I've seen it.
Well, I'm sure you know everything that's in it anyway. I can't believe I've gotten this old and I still don't know anything.
How did you get here?
I left George on Wednesday and drove until dark. I wasn't going anywhere in particular, I was just leaving George. I wound up in that village over there and checked into the Holiday Inn. The desk clerk, he was one of those nice young men, you know the kind. Handed me my room key and I burst into tears. I realized I was spending the night alone, away from home for the first time in my life.
How did you get here?
To Bluefish Cove? Well, the desk clerk, he was quite nice in spite of his predilections. He recommended this bar down the street where I could get a drink without being approached by mashers, where mostly businesswomen went.
He sent you to Molly Pitchers.
And I met this nice lady at the bar. She's a real estate agent.
Marjorie Eaton.
She handles the rentals for Bluefish Cove. I'm sure you know of her.
Very well.
I told her I needed quiet, some space to myself. She was wonderful. She didn't question me or ask for references. She didn't even ask about my husband or kids. She just took my money and handed me the lease. She must have been a feminist. She assumed I was in control of my own life.
She assumed something, that's for sure.
And it's been wonderful. I mean, it's beautiful here, and maybe I'll make some new friends. This party tonight, it's at your cabin?
Yes, but you don't have to come.
Oh, but I want to. I've been holed up in my cabin the last few days just reading The Female Sexual Imperative. A party would do me good, though. It's time for me to make my debut as a single woman.
Eva, you might feel out of place.
Because I'm single? Well, you are too. I've been married so long I've completely forgotten how to flirt. But you said it's mostly couples there. Still, there might be some single house guest or bachelor brother. You never know, we might get lucky. I don't even know if I can hold a conversation with a man. I promise I won't cut in on your territory.
Somehow I'm not worried about that. It's just a bunch of beach bums, just the residents of the Cove. It's no big deal.
Oh, it is to me. I'm going to a party by myself. Oh, I feel like I'm in high school again. I used to have this friend, Joan. We would get ready before every party. I wouldn't dream of picking out a dress or a boyfriend without getting Joan's approval first. This book is right, Lil. Grown women can be friends. Thank you. I'll see you tonight.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Damn, Margie.
She might have been drunk.
I think she made a perfectly reasonable assumption.
Walks like a duck, talks like a duck, hangs out with ducks. Must be a duck.
How could Margie do this to me?
If you meet a woman in a gay bar, you naturally assume she's gay.
This could ruin my career.
But Annie's got just as much of this as you have, Kitty. Annie's famous too.
Ray.
Well, you are, darling. Annie was famous when you were still delivering babies at that clinic in Brooklyn.
It's not the same thing. Annie's a sculptor.
Sculptress. We take pride in the feminine gender.
Well, you shouldn't. Sculptor's generic. Sculptors is diminutive. And anyways, nobody cares what sculptor.
Sculptress.
Nobody cares what sculptor goes to bed with.
Kitty's developing a new language. She's gonna write a dictionary full of non-sexist language.
Nobody cares who you go to bed with.
I do.
I have a new book coming out.
It's even better than the female sexual imperative. It's called Coming Together, the Search for Connubial Equality. It's a play on words.
I'm trying to liberate American women.
Publishers Weekly even gave her an award, Literature's Most Credible Woman's Liver.
Don't worry, Kitty. If your career blows up, we'll give you an award. Bluefish Cove's most incredible dyke.
This isn't funny. I'll lose my credibility.
Not to mention your royalties.
I'm dependent on my royalties. We're dependent on my royalties. I gave up a career in the movement, remember? To devote myself. I gave up a career in medicine, remember? To devote myself to the movement.
Why is it that every time Kitty says the movement, it sounds like a disturbance of the lower colon?
I don't know why I put up with a bunch of you. I don't know why I come back here every summer. I'm dedicating my life to a worthy cause.
Yeah, we didn't have to come back here this summer. Kitty got a grant from the Swedish government to go there and write.
Kitty, my dear, we are your old friends. We recognize that you gave up long, gory hours in the operating room in order to make 1 million writing books. We recall how you gave up day after day of peering up dark vaginas with a penlight in order to become a national celebrity. Our hearts bleed for you when we see your handsome face on the cover of Miss, or tune into Phil Donahue to listen to you telling American women to grab their sexuality.
No, honey. Seize your sexuality. That's what she said of Donahue. Seize your sexuality, she said. Some women in the audience thought she was advocating masturbation.
She does advocate masturbation. There's a whole chapter of it in this new book.
We are aware of your achievements and cognizant of your sacrifices. We have watched you fall in and out of love, in and out of lust, in and out of hangovers. We tolerated and accepted you when you were young, dedicated, and struggling. We tolerate and accept you now that you are rich, famous, and arrogant. It was more than a lesbian beach colony, Kitty. It's family. And that's why you keep coming back.
Kitty is not arrogant. She's brilliant.
She's both. And she depends on us to keep her from becoming totally obnoxious.
I wouldn't take that from anybody else, you know.
I know. That's why I said it.
What are families for?
Lil! How can you do this to me? My career is in jeopardy. I can't believe it. A straight woman in Bluefish Cove. There's nothing sacred anymore.
Kitty, don't get in a sit and screw up this summer, huh? Have some consideration, will you?
It's just one woman. One simple little woman. She's not going to rent the Goodyear blimp and fly across country announcing that Dr. Kitty Cochran is a lesbian.
It only takes one person to start a rumor that can ruin a career.
Lil has the right to invite anybody they want, anybody at all, to their own cabin for their own party.
What difference does it make to Lil? What do they have to lose?
Kitty.
I didn't mean it like that. I just mean we're dealing with my life here.
We're dealing with the rest of Lil's life, too.
Okay, we all agreed we're going to make this summer perfect, and nobody is going to fight.
Or fuck around.
Kitty never fucks around.
Love is blind.
Please, think of Lil.
Maybe it won't be so bad, Kitty. She is a straight woman. She could be source material for your new book.
Well, I can't see any other way of doing this. We'll all just have to pretend we're straight.
I'm just about to give up on you, Kitty.
I can say Rita's my cousin.
You could say I'm your secretary. I am your secretary.
But darling, she's bound to come in sometime during the summer. And celebrities don't sleep in a double bed with their secretaries. But if you're my cousin,
Incest is preferable to being gay.
and Annie could be your sister-in-law. You could say you're divorced, which is true, you wouldn't have to lie. And Annie's husband could have died valiantly in Vietnam. Donna can say she's Sue's daughter.
I don't want to be around when you suggest that to Sue. Sue's slightly paranoid about the age difference anyway.
But Kitty, if the woman is living here in Holly House, she's gonna see us everywhere, every day. On the beach, at the picnic tables, on the path,
The Glen?
Kitty, the woman may be straight, but I haven't heard she's an idiot.
I don't know if we could pull it off, Kitty. Someone's bound to make a slip.
Oh, shut up, Rita. I know that. They wouldn't do it for me anyways. They don't care about my career. The whole thing's hideous and impossible. It's your friends who do you in the end. That's what my father used to say.
Need some help? No thanks, I'm almost finished. Why didn't you have them cleaned at the market? How do you know I didn't catch these? I was watching out the window this afternoon while I saw you coming up the stairs with an empty bucket. Don't rat on me. I have a reputation to uphold. My lips are sealed. Actually, I don't mind cleaning them. It releases my hostilities. Thanks. Has Kitty offended anyone yet? Everyone. Right off. Good. It's the opening of the season initiation. Same thing every year. Kitty offends everyone. Everyone puts Kitty in her place. Then we can settle in for the long, hot summer. When I lived with Kitty, it was a nightly ritual putting Kitty in her place, you know? She thrives on it.
She's having a temper tantrum over your inviting a straight lady to the party tonight.
I never would have if I'd known she was straight, but by the time I found out, it was too late. Well, she might as well know right now, at the beginning of the season, she's smack in the middle of a bunch of eggs.
Kitty would prefer she never finds that out.
Kitty might change her mind when she sees her. She's nice looking.
I saw her from the window. Not me. I'm a married lady.
Maybe she'll turn out to be a nice straight lady for Kitty to chase around after all summer. Kitty has never made it through a summer at Bluefish Cove without at least one side affair.
That's not true. She never fooled around the 2 years that she lived with you. You were the one who fooled around.
She called me an alley cat.
I remember. You had that fling with Donna.
But I denied it. I swore, Scout's honor, I hadn't laid a finger on Donna.
She didn't believe you. Kitty may be a pain in the ass, but she's nobody's fool.
She set the answering machine to monitor and record. She bugged her goddamn hill phone.
And you, dummy, made a plan to meet Donna at a motel.
Well, where else? She was living with Sue, I was living with Kitty. I'm too old to do it in the back of a car.
Didn't Kitty follow you to the motel room?
Pounded on the door, made a complete ass of herself. Donna and I had to jump out the window, bare ass with our clothes under our arms. Good thing we were on the first floor.
And Kitty never let you back in your apartment.
Never. Changed the locks, put my things out in the hallway.
You ever wish you'd stayed with Kitty?
It never would have worked.
It might have. I never would have said 9 years ago that Ray and I would make it, but we have. And it's better now than it ever was.
I'm not a long-distance runner, Annie.
You were in love with Kitty.
For a minute, maybe, but I had a lust for freedom and she had a lust for fame and fortune. Kitty's all right, don't go so hard on her.
I'll try to remember that.
Someday, sculptures by Anne Joseph will be in the Metropolitan, and dedicated little art students will pry into your life, and long-nosed, intense professors will refer to you as the master of free form.
You think so?
I know it. And books by Kitty Cochran will be on library shelves 100 years from now. How long will your sculptures last?
Indefinitely.
Thousands of years. And Ray has 2 grown children, and they'll have children. That's a kind of immortality. Alley cats just come and go.
Hey, Lil. I love you.
Don't you start with that. We made a pact years ago in a dormitory room. Never lovers, always friends.
I didn't mean that, dummy. I just meant you're my good friend. And I love you.
Cut the crap. How many drinks have you had?
Hope you didn't bring the head and guts in with you.
Nope. Threw them in the sea. To the sea we come, to the sea we returneth.
I don't mind cooking them, but I sure do hate to clean them.
Just like a woman.
Watch that one. There's nothing more disgusting than a male chauvinist dyke.
Oh my God. It can't be. It is. Dr. Kitty Cochran, High Priestess of Feminism, right in my very own living room? Can I have your autograph? Come on, Kitty.
She's upset that you invited that straight woman.
Eva, she's just a nice, naive little lady, Kitty. We're gonna be a lot more upsetting to her than she is to us.
Oh, but she's invaded our secret isle of Lesbos. The enemy is in our camp. The traitor moves among us.
She does have to be very careful.
She seems like a nice woman. It's gonna be all right. Knock, knock, Kitty. Can you hear me through the closet door?
blows my cover. If she goes to the media and announces that Dr. T.D. Cochran is a dyke, do you know how much David Susskind would love to get his hands on that?
Deny it, Kitty. Deny everything. You're so good at that.
The public is not ready. The public is still trying to accept concepts of equal rights and the clitoral orgasm. If I were to come out now, it would be a catastrophe. It would be as incredible as if Gloria Steinem announced her intention to marry Marlo Thomas. The entire movement would shudder and collapse.
Kitty is a figurehead, starting boldly and courageously from the prow of the ship of human rights, sailing through the treacherous sea of prejudice and ignorance.
You didn't write that.
Yes, she did.
Read it up. It was the first draft. How could you remember that?
I remember everything you write, Kitty. I have to type it 4 times. She does 4 drafts of everything.
I think I like you better when you practice medicine. You always look so sexy in that white coat.
How are you feeling, Will?
Terrific.
Really?
Don't start on me. You're not my doctor.
You're under my supervision.
Bullshit. You have my records. That's all. And I only agreed to that because my doctor wouldn't let me spend the summer out here otherwise. If I suddenly turn fuchsia and collapse, do something. Otherwise, keep your distance. Understand?
She's only trying to help you.
You don't even practice medicine anymore.
She didn't go to Sweden. She didn't have to come here this summer.
That's not true, Will. I never did like Sweden. And anyways, I wouldn't miss a summer at the Cove, Fred. You're overheating. You can't stay out on that beach for so long. You're overdoing well.
You try to take my pulse and I'll break your fingers. I'm fine. I feel just fine.
Hey, here she comes.
Nice. Very nice. You always said I have good taste, Will.
Get in here and butter this skillet before I break it over your head.
I love me a possessive woman.
Well, you've got one. She's skinny and she's got blonde hair. And if I catch you looking cross-eyed at her, I'll snatch you bald-headed.
Lil, you got the right place. Come on up.
You're a married woman.
I can dream, can't I?
Skinny with blonde hair reps from under up every time. Get in here.
Lil, hi Eva. I didn't hear any noise, but I was too excited to wait. Come on in, dressed and ready for an hour.
Come on in. Donna and Stu are late, as usual, but everyone else is here.
Do I look all right?
I think you look terrific. Doesn't she look terrific?
Wonderful.
Hope they don't introduce us last names.
Hi, I'm Ray. Welcome to Bluefish Cove. This little abject character here is Annie Joseph.
Hi, we've all been looking forward to meeting you. Lil here has told us all about you.
Not all. I don't know everything.
What do you want to drink? Besides being assistant chef, I'm also official barkeep.
A scotch and water. Do you have that?
Sure, coming up.
Rita Sanderson, Eva Margolis.
Hi.
I'm Catherine.
Hello.
You want the scotch heavy or light?
Oh, light, please. I'm not a big drinker. Did you say your name was Annie Joseph?
That's right.
Are you the sculptress?
Sculptor.
It doesn't matter. I make sculptures.
I took a class in art appreciation last year. We studied you.
Thank you.
I've never met a sculptress. Sculptor? Before.
Sculptress does sound like she does a little less of it, a little less well.
Oh! We really need a new word. We need to create our own language.
You must be a feminist. I'm trying to become one. I'm reading that new book by Dr. Cochran right now. The Female Sexual Imperative. Have you read it?
Do I have to answer that?
Oh, do. You'll love it. It'll change your life. I know most men get very uptight about their wives reading feminist literature. George nearly went wild when I brought home this book by Dr. Cochran. He said his secretary read it and got so uppity, he had to fire her. And of course, he blamed blames Dr. Cochran in the book for the fact I left him.
Wouldn't be the first time Dr. Cochran's been blamed for a breakup.
But it's not true. It's really not. I mean, I would have left eventually anyway. Our marriage just wasn't working. We tried everything. We really did. Have you read Dr. Cochran's book?
Well, yes, I have.
She's wonderful.
She's marvelous.
I would have left George anyway, but the book made me feel good about it. As if it were a beginning, not an end.
What a lovely thing to say.
You see, she is a figurehead, jutting boldly and courageously from the prow of the ship of human rights.
She's the most important woman of the 20th century. That's what I think. Kitty Cochran is going to change the world.
She can't hold out against this kind of flattery. I give her 15 more minutes. 15 more seconds, bet you $10.
If any of you haven't read it, I'll lend you my copy when I'm finished. Just don't tell your husbands where you got it from. I'm on the last chapter now, and I am savoring every word. Let me tell you, you don't know what it's like to be a woman until you've read Dr. Kitty Cochran.
I'm really thrilled the book has had such meaning for me.
See? Oh, it has. It saved my life.
Really.
Oh, yes.
Watch this.
Now,
I am Dr. Kitty Cochran.
really?
But Kitty, you said...
Rita, I have an obligation to my public.
Oh, terribly exciting.
Okay, group, suits on.
But not everyone's here.
Like I used to say to my kids, you get here on time or your plate goes in the oven.
When is your husband coming?
My husband? Coming? Oh, he's not. He won't be. We divorced 9 years ago.
Oh. What about your children?
What about them?
Oh, they're on their own. One of them's bumming around Oregon, and the other's at a summer school in the city.
You have children?
No, I just feel like Ray's are half mine.
Your neighbors.
No, we live together.
Oh. I don't have children now, but do you have children?
Oh no. But I delivered 273. What a wonderful thing it is to bring new life into the world.
I almost had a child once. I was pregnant when I was in college. The boy was very considerate. He paid for the abortion. It was a little girl.
I always wanted a little girl. I wanted her to look just like me. My immortality, I guess. So, you say in your book that a woman has a right to her own body. Now, George thinks that's a mortal sin. George thinks lots of things are mortal sins. Like what you say in your book about marital sex.
Sue, wait! Honey, I told you you can walk this beach in no sandals if you wear sensible shoes.
The sandals make my ankles look thinner.
If your ankles got any thinner, your feet would lift off. Come on.
The sandals are sexier. It's too bad Gucci is imprinted on the back of them.
I could stamp Saks Fifth Avenue on your ass.
I'd like to have a pair of these in red, too.
Can we order them by phone? On one condition. Don't flirt with Lil tonight.
Flirt with Lil.
Don't look dumb. You always flirt with Lil.
Sue!
Ever since you had that brief affair with them.
I never had an affair with Lil.
Don't lie to me. Kitty told me all about it. You and Lil leaping out a motel window.
Kitty made up that story.
Why would Kitty make up a story like that?
don't know, but she did. Why on earth would I flirt with Lil Zelinsky when I have you? I bet Lil's never made more than $15,000 a year in their whole life.
They're good looking. They're reputed to be dynamite in the sack. They had you once and dropped you like a hot potato. My baby doesn't like to get dumped.
I would like to have a pair of these in blue, too.
Have a heart, will you?
I saw the most terrific denim pantsuit in Lloyd & Taylor.
Whatever you want, Donna, just don't flirt with Lil tonight. I may be a fool, but I don't want to look like one. Leave me some pride, huh?
Don't you even feel sorry for Lil? Don't you feel guilty? Sue, you're 10 years older than they are, and you're still healthy as a horse.
When you're born into my financial bracket, you feel sorry for everybody, guilty about everything. And you learn very quickly that you can't do a damn thing about other people's bad luck. 2 pairs of sandals and a pantsuit. That's all you want? You have a tragic flaw, Donna. You never gamble for high enough stakes. I might have gone for a Mercedes. Keep moving, honey. We're late already. Go on.
Yoo-hoo!
Only an hour late. We're improving.
Come on in, your bowls are in the cabinet.
They're always late. Donna has to change clothes 20 times.
I changed 4 times myself.
Sue McMillan, Donna Adderley, Eva Margolis. Eva's got Holly House this season.
Welcome. Two who had last year fought nightly. Kept the whole Cove in a state of chaos. I hope you're happily paired up with someone.
No, I'm not.
Oh dear. I was hoping for some peace.
We just broke up
Well, we've all been through that.
with her husband. They've been married for 12 years.
To a man?
What else? Well, I won't bore you with the details. Other people's divorces are a dull subject of conversation.
We were just discussing our children.
Children?
Well, I do have 2, you know.
Do you have children?
Me?
Oh, you will. You're young yet. Are you married?
Married. Me?
You're not married?
No, I'm not married.
But your last name is different than your mother's.
My mother?
She's not her mother.
Sue? No, she's not my mother.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's an understandable mistake. You didn't think it was understandable when the maitre d' at Lutece said it. You nearly bit his head off.
I'm sorry, I just assumed.
Forget it. All right?
Honey, did you put the coffee on?
Now see what you've done? She's gonna give me a hard time the rest of the night because of you.
I apologized. I don't know what else I can do.
Well, it was a dumb thing to say.
Donna! It was a perfectly reasonable assumption. I mean, what is she, your aunt?
Putting me on? Where did you find her? I have a book coming out.
I read it, you know. I typed it.
Jesus H. Christ!
Look how clear it is tonight. You can see Connecticut. Will, why don't you take Eva down to the beach and show her the skyline? Coffee will be another 10 minutes.
Would you like that?
Yes, I would.
You better get your act together, or this summer is gonna be a real mess.
Be careful on those stairs. It's dark out. Those planks are older than both of you.
Dear God in heaven.
Talk to her for us, Kitty. She listens to you.
Sue, you gotta do something about her. About me? Why don't you do something about her? Is Lil making it with her, or what?
Poor Eva. She doesn't know what the hell is going on.
It must be awful for her.
Awful for her? Has she hurt Sue's feelings?
Since when have you cared about that?
I care. I've stuck around for 3 years. I must care.
Well, come on then. Give your old mom a hug and kiss.
I want to see what Lil's up to down there.
That's none of your business.
That's what I would say if they were doing something, but they're not doing anything.
Give Lil time.
I don't think that's what Lil has on their mind this summer.
Why not?
If I were Lil, that's exactly what I had on my mind.
Kitty, is Lil gonna make it through the summer?
The chemotherapy appears to have had a positive effect. There's no indication of new growth at the present moment.
So they could get well and live for years.
They could.
But Kitty, you said that practically never happens, not with this type of cancer. You said it moves too fast.
There's no indication of new growth at the current time.
But you said...
It doesn't matter what I said, Rita. The practice of medicine is not an exact science, and anyways, this is not my field of specialty. I'm no expert.
You are an expert, Kitty. Or at least you were one.
Never.
It was your field of specialty.
Don't tell me what I did, Rita.
You said you couldn't stand to watch people die. You said you didn't want to give people hope and you knew there wasn't any.
Rita, for God's sake.
I'm telling them because they're your friends, Kitty. They ought to know you're not pushy and self-centered like they think you are. You're kind and sensitive and caring.
Rita, what am I going to do with you?
I'm telling them because I love you.
I know that. I just don't know how to shut you up.
She's angry at me because I told her a secret.
It's not a secret, honey.
It's a charade. She wants us to play with her, so we do.
It's not all a charade.
Kitty can be very pushy and self-centered and mean. She can be very mean.
And loud. I can be very loud. You can hear me clear through a motel room door.
I haven't the foggiest notion what you're talking about.
Hold it!
Ring! Into your corners, ladies!
What are they doing down there?
Will you get away from that window?
I'm not flirting with them, I'm watching them.
Well, don't.
Take it easy, Sue.
She can't help herself. She's menopausal. She has no interest in sex. She flies off the handle all the time.
According to Kitty's book, none of those are symptoms of menopause. That's an old wives' tale.
Sue says she's menopausal. She says it herself.
Well, Kitty's book says...
Fuck what Kitty's book says. How would Kitty know? Have you been menopausal?
Don't get so upset, Sue. There's nothing to get so upset about.
She makes me feel so completely inadequate. I don't make you feel any way. Don't blame me for your own insecurities.
Why do you continue to put up with that?
Because I love her. You really? Say that again. I like to hear you say that. I can't. Fine, you're driving me crazy.
Sue, wait! I was just kidding! Where's your sense of humor? I don't like the looks of it.
No, they're just talking.
They've been down there too long. Straight ladies can be very dangerous. They tend to toy with our affections.
You'd certainly be the expert on that subject.
Lil does not need to be toyed with this summer.
I had a college roommate like that. We'd make out all night and then she'd talk about how much she loved her boyfriend in the morning. For months I thought I was hallucinating.
I want this summer to be as pleasant and serene as possible.
Lil can take care of themselves. They can. I think they can. And down there's the yacht basin. July 4th, they'll race 100 boats with spinnakers. It's really breathtaking.
You really love it here, don't you?
It's my favorite place in all the world. I wish I found it sooner. This is only my 4th summer on the Cove.
Well, think of it this way. You have 40 years to go. I think I'm going to go back to my cabin now. Thanks for inviting me.
It was awful for you, wasn't it? I'm so sorry. The whole thing was just a terrible mistake.
I don't understand. I tried to say the right things. I tried to be polite and sociable. I've never felt so left out in my entire life. It's as if I was speaking another language.
You were speaking another language.
I thought I had it figured out. No men, no husbands. But then Ray started talking about her children.
Lesbians have children too. Some lesbians do.
I feel like such a fool. Why didn't you tell me?
I couldn't just say all the women in this cove are lesbians because I don't have the right to make that kind of announcement for them. They have to decide to tell that themselves, and everybody doesn't decide that at the same time, and it's a mess. That's what it is, a mess. It's hard on us, and it's hard on you, I'm sorry.
I bet they're up there right now, laughing at what a fool I made of myself.
No, Eva, no one wanted to hurt or embarrass you. I never should have asked you tonight, but at the time I did, I thought you were one of us.
You what?
It was a logical assumption. Marge Eden has never, in recorded history, rented a cabin at Bluefish Cove to a heterosexual.
Really?
Really. These cabins were built by two elderly maiden ladies, that's what the locals called them. One of them still alive in a nursing home up Island. A couple of years ago, a few of us drove up to see her. Annie took some photographs of the yacht race from the Sound, and Ray got her a bouquet of lavender. She never did understand who we were or why we were there, but she kept looking at us, and a couple of times she looked around and said, "Elizabeth, I believe we have some company." Elizabeth was her lover's name, I guess. I don't know what'll happen to the cove when the old lady dies.
You could buy it. You could all get together and buy it.
Maybe Sue will buy it. She has the money. Or Kitty.
Can't believe that Kitty Cochran.
Yeah, well, don't talk about it, all right? It really could hurt her career.
You know, George always said that women's livers were a bunch of...
Right? Not all, but some. After all, dykes are women too. Just head back to your cabin, get a good night's rest, and I'll call Marge for you in the morning. Maybe she'll cancel your rental contract.
I don't have anywhere else to go. I needed a friend now. I wanted it to be you.
Eva, I'm not a vampire, for heaven's sake. I don't go around pouncing on pretty women. I know how to be friends. But you won't be comfortable here, Eva. You're out of place.
I'm out of place everywhere, Lil. I'm out of place here, in my marriage, in my life, and I'm terrified of being alone. I've never been alone.
We're all alone, Eva. Sooner or later, everyone does the important things alone.
Not me.
You're alone getting born, giving birth, dying. Well, people may be around you, watching you, but you do the thing alone. You fall in love alone. Yes, you do. It's not like dancing the tango. Two people don't fall in love in lockstep. One falls first, one falls next, and maybe one never falls at all. You say Kitty's book changed your life. Eva, it didn't. It might have given you some courage, but you're the one who changed your life. You rented a cabin, you spoke to me on the beach, you asked me to be your friend. You're not nearly so dependent as you think you are, Eva. Wherever you go this summer, I expect you'll do just fine.
Those women in your cabin tonight, they were all so independent. And you don't need anybody. I admire that. You know, George always used to say that women can't get along without men. I wish he could have seen what I saw tonight.
Eva, forget what you saw tonight, all right? Go back to your cabin, get a good night's rest, and I'll call Marge for you in the morning. Oh, Jesus, don't start crying.
I'm not crying. I'm mad. I'm scared. You don't want me here, and I don't have anywhere else to go. I thought you were going to be my friend.
Eva, I am your friend. It's all going to be okay, all right? We'll see. Now go on. It's freezing out here. Good night. Go on.
Here they come.
Hey there! We were getting worried about you.
Sorry, she was pretty upset. This has been a stinking party, hasn't it?
It's early yet. We can still party.
We're going home now, Donna.
Why?
I'm tired. I'm menopausal.
What a drag.
I'll see you on the beach tomorrow, okay? Donna.
Lil, would you want to go sailing tomorrow?
Donna.
What? You don't like to sail. It makes you seasick.
Lil, I'll take a rain check, Donna.
Donna, come on.
If you change your mind, Lil.
Donna!
I'd like to strangle that kid. What a cunt.
And never use a woman's genitalia as a derogatory term. What kind of feminism is that?
Kitty, my dear, it is in my experience that in any group of men, you will find a number of pranks. And occasionally, mind you, occasionally, in a group of fine, upstanding women such as ourselves, you will find a cunt. Donna is one. She wants Lil's body.
She's had Lil's body.
Well, apparently she didn't get enough of it.
How could she? Kitty was beating down the motel room door.
She isn't good for you.
Don't worry, I can't be bothered. I haven't the energy or the time.
That's the most sensible thing I've heard you say since I've known you.
All right, gang. I'm heading into town at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Okay? If you want something, write it down and attach cash. Last year, I managed to lose a lot of money. Oh, Kitty, pick up some aspirin for me, will you? Toothpaste, we're nearly out of toothpaste. Tampax, I forgot to bring Tampax. This year, Rhea's keeping track, and I'm gonna bill you all.
Once a nitpicker, always a nitpicker. Becoming famous hasn't changed you one damn bit.
Last chance. Night all.
Thank you, Ray. It was a lovely dinner.
Cat Rita's got some good manners. She's the only one who said how good the meal was. The only one. The rest of you bums just took it for granted.
I never take you for granted, love, never. My life with you was a glorious adventure.
You making that up?
My nights are rich with mystery, my dreams breathless with expectation.
You read that somewhere.
I think I read it in a Kitty Cochran book. On the other hand, maybe I overheard Lil saying that to Donna. You okay, Lil?
Yeah, just tired.
They told you to expect that, didn't they? Maybe you should take a nap in the afternoon.
I don't have time to take a nap.
Hey. You like her, huh? Do I know you, or do I know you? I know you. You like her, huh? Am I right? Huh? You like her?
Kind of.
Yes. Who knows you? I know you. Nobody knows you like I do, am I right?
Right.
I love you, good buddy.
You said that earlier. Don't get mushy.
I know. My loving you is not enough, but just the same, I do. Come on, old lady, time to go home. Juan here is plumb wore out.
All right, I'm just finishing up.
You eat anything, Lynn?
Yeah, time.
You really like her, huh?
If you need somebody, so do I.
Well, then,
Nah, wouldn't work.
never say never.
She's straight.
Maybe she is, and maybe she isn't.
She is.
I thought Ray was straight, too. Married lady with chubby babies hanging on her skirt. Then she attacked me.
It's not the same thing. You could offer her a life together.
You don't know what you could offer her yet, Lil. It's not about the quantity of time, it's about the quality. And you've got lots of quality, my friend.
You know, the one thing I've always had going for me is I know who I am. I know who I am, what I'm capable of. Most of the time, I actually know what I want.
And?
She doesn't. She doesn't know a thing about herself. I don't make brass sculptures that last forever. I never wrote a book or had a baby. I'd like to pass something on.
All right, Hotshot, let's go.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, both of you.
When you get to feeling better, you can cook for us and wash our dishes.
That's a deal.
Try to get some sleep, will you?
I'll try. I get tired, but my mind won't stop. I don't want to waste time sleeping.
I'll bet you could work up a terrific erotic dream tonight.
Now, I don't consider that a waste of time.
You may be right about that.
Do I know you, huh?
Get out of here, will you? isn't fair. God damn it. Who is it?
I'm too upset to sleep.
It's late, Eva. I'm very tired.
But I need to talk.
We'll talk tomorrow. On. Things don't look so goddamn dramatic in the sunlight.
Have you been crying? Your face is swollen.
No, catching a cold or something.
Your eyes are all puffy.
It must be an allergic reaction to the sun. I stayed on the beach too long this afternoon.
I told you. I bet your shoulders are blistered.
No, they're fine.
See? You ought to put something on. You have some Noxema?
No, Eva, I'm fine, terrific, wonderful, good night.
It's cold here at night. Ooh, that sea breeze.
Fine, Eva, but not for long, okay? Got to get some sleep.
I used to talk to my son, Lenny, late at night like this. I'd sit by his bed and talk to him, and he'd listen to me. He lived to be 6 years old. I taught him how to read. He loved to read. He used to read to me out loud. I wasn't a big reader before Lenny came along. Then I was going to the libraries and the bookstores, and I'd get some books for him, and I'd pick up something for myself. In a way, you could say Lenny taught me how to read. I think George feels responsible for Lenny's heart. George feels responsible for everything. He's not a mean man. He's just set in his ways. My mother wanted me to marry an adventurer. She was always dreaming about going on adventures, doing things no one else had done, seeing things no one else had seen. She never went on any of her own, of course. It was all in her mind. She wanted me to go on adventures for her. And I haven't had a one.
I'm sure you have, Eva. I mean, coming to the party tonight was a kind of adventure, wasn't it? Maybe not a pleasant one, but...
I bet you go on adventures all the time.
Don't make a hero out of me, Eva.
But I admire you.
I've done a lot of things in my life that were not the least bit admirable. Ask Kitty Cochran, she'll give you an earful.
Were you and Kitty?
For a while.
But now you're not.
It's not a time for me to make commitments. I never was one for making commitments anyway.
Well, how did you know you were
What?
gay?
I fell in love with a woman. What is this, 20 questions?
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about it, and
All right. I knew very early. Some people do. I knew when I couldn't take my eyes off my high school English teacher, when my knees used to quiver every time my chemistry lab partner brushed her elbow against mine, when I could hardly wait for double dates to end so my girlfriend and I could cuddle in her bed together and demonstrate to one another what boys had done to us. I knew when I touched her, it didn't mean a thing. She was pretending I was a boy, but I wasn't pretending. She was the real thing to me. I didn't know there were so many others like me till I got to college and met Annie. Annie swears she was born gay. She's never had the slightest heterosexual tendency.
Were you and Annie?
Oh, goodness, no, never. Annie and I are best buds. It was Annie who showed me the gay bars and restaurants and the gay resort areas. We gays are kind of like hobbits. No matter how repressive Earthlings get, we continue to thrive in Middle-earth. We straddle both worlds and try to keep our balance.
Kitty Cochran says you can be bisexual.
She does she?
I never really thought about that before.
Well, Kitty also says that a mature person should not expect their partner to remain monogamous. And I'm here to tell you that what Kitty says and what Kitty does are two very different things. Kitty is a very possessive lady.
You don't like her, do you? You're always putting her down.
Like Kitty, I adore Kitty. I might poke a little fun at Dr. Kitty Cochran, feminist soothsayer, but that's just a mask she wears. The real Kitty is a longtime friend of mine. We've been through a lot. I can count on Kitty to come through.
So, were you never attracted to a man?
What, are you writing a book, or what? It's after midnight.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to
what?
understand. You think I'm boring, don't you?
No,
Just some runaway housewife.
I don't think you're boring, Eva. I think you're lonely, vulnerable, curious, and that combination scares the hell out of me.
I've thought about you ever since our walk on the beach today. At the party, I could feel you looking at me, or I thought I could. I could feel that there's something between us. I mean, I've never felt this way for a woman before, and I just don't know if I've never. Are you just gonna let me stand here and make a fool out of myself?
I'm not a curiosity, Eva. I'm not an experiment, not an adventure. On the other hand, I have never, I repeat, never, gone shopping with anyone for matching drapes and sheets at Bloomingdale's.
I understand.
Do you?
I'm not as naive as you think I am.
You're not?
Maybe I am.
Go home, Eva. Get some sleep. I'll see you on the beach tomorrow, all right? We'll spend the day on the beach together. My mother must have told me 50 times, never kiss on the first date.
You're a Puritan.
No, but my mother is. This is the first time I've ever taken her advice. Good night, Eva. Good night.
Don't they ever get out of bed?
Why don't you mind your own business?
Well, they can't be doing it all the time, right? It's physically impossible.
Kitty says women are capable of multiple orgasms. Men aren't, but women are.
I think it's perverted. We've hardly seen Lil all summer.
It's little summer. If they want to spend it in bed, let them.
Well, it isn't fair.
You'd think it was fair enough if you were the one in bed with them. Sorry.
You deserve better than that, Sue.
Do I?
Yes, she uses you.
They all do. She's not the first pretty young thing I've kept. I don't expect she'll be the last.
You're a nice lady. You don't have to buy love.
I have never known, in fact, who loved me and who loved my bank book. Except with this one. I don't have to lie awake nights saying to myself, but she said this, or she did this, and maybe that does mean she loves me. With Donna, I know exactly where I stand.
It hurts less that way, Annie.
Hey, get down from there. Leave them alone.
None of you are concerned about Lil. You don't care if you see them this summer or not. You don't care if you ever see them again.
Of course we care.
Any day could be their last.
Oh, don't be so dramatic, Donna. People in Lil's condition don't just keel over and die. They'll have adequate warning, and so will we.
I saw them walking on the beach the other day. Lil looked fine. Their color's good, and I don't know when I've seen them look so happy.
I saw Eva the other day at the supermarket too. She looked fine as well. She was talking about how excited she is to live with Lil in the city this year. And she mentioned that they're renting the cabin again for next summer.
She said what?
They haven't told her. Annie?
Yeah, I don't know what it is that Lil does to catch fish off this rock, but I don't seem to have any luck at all.
You know that Lil hasn't told Eva?
Hasn't told her what? They haven't?
I mean, I understand it. Lil's going through denial. Not happy about it, but given the circumstances.
I wouldn't tell her either.
I would. It would be so romantic. Like Camille.
Will you shut up? Thank you. That's a step in the right direction, Sue.
But it isn't right not to tell her. Eva ought to know.
As long as they're feeling good, I don't see why they have to tell her. They don't want to be looked on as a dying person, for Christ's sakes. They're in love, they feel wonderful, they want to live. Leave them alone.
You'd think they'd want to spend their last summer with their friends. Guys, they just met Eva. They've known all of us for years.
Will you do something about that brat before I drown her?
I don't have to take that from you, okay? I don't have to stand here and be insulted by a bunch of dykes.
Oh, what are you, sweetheart? Chopped liver?
Actually, I'm bisexual. Or I could be if I wanted to. When we took that cruise to St. John's last summer, I could have had every man on shipboard. Couldn't I, Sue?
To tell the truth, dear, I thought you did.
Well, I didn't. But nobody could blame me if I had. I certainly don't get any at home.
Donna!
You don't care about Lil. You're just gonna let them stay up in that cabin with that stranger all summer long. They're going to die, and we'll never see them again, and you don't care. Sue, I'm going back to the cabin. Sue, I'm going back to the cabin. Aren't you coming? Sue.
No. You're a big girl, Donna. You get here to there alone. Go on. Good girl. She's spoiled rotten. And I'm the one who spoiled her. She was a perfectly ordinary little girl from Brooklyn when I met her. Oh, she'd gone to modeling school, but she worked on the training information desk as a trainee at Bloomingdale's. I was looking for the sale in sportswear, and she directed me first to home furnishings, and then to men's outerwear, and finally to lingerie. She had a wonderful sense of humor about her inefficiency and never once apologized for sending me on wild goose chases all over the store. Donna was not always what she is now. I played a part in creating the monster. And like Dr. Frankenstein, I'm somewhat reluctant to release my creation on the world.
How big is your dining room?
What?
Your dining room.
Our dining room.
How big is it?
It's not really a dining room. It's more of an alcove. It's about, I don't know, honey. It's little.
Can it hold an oak table and 6 bentwood chairs?
Sweetheart, this is a very small apartment.
I have so much gorgeous furniture. Do I have to leave it all to George? We could get a bigger apartment.
Sweetheart, I can afford this apartment.
Well, I could get a job. Some kind of job, can't I? Do you want me to work?
It's not what I want, Eva. It's what you want. What do you want? do you want?
I wish you stopped asking me that.
I don't want you to do anything to please me. Just please yourself.
Well, I don't know what I want. Except you. I want you. Always.
It may come as a big surprise to you, my darling, but there is more to life than,
More to life than what?
don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
More to life than sex?
Some people say that, but they lie. It's a pack of lies.
You mean love makes the world go round?
Definitely.
Love resolves all problems?
Absolutely.
Love conquers all?
No doubt about it.
You know, my mother always used to tell me, marry a rich man. Love doesn't pay the rent.
Your mother is a callous woman.
Can you fit a 6-foot couch in your living room?
Our living room.
Can you?
Honey, a 6-foot person will hardly fit in that living room.
What am I supposed to do with all my furniture?
Sell it, store it, give it to George, give it to your mother, give it to the Salvation Army. Just put that damn list away. Here.
My mother always told me to plan for the future.
I can see your mother and I are not going to get along.
We have so much future to plan for, Lil. So many years together, so many things to do. Do you ski?
Do I ski? I was the college downhill champion.
I'm the snowplow queen myself. You can follow me by my sits marks. But I love it. Imagine riding next to you in a chairlift. I've always had this fantasy about making love in a chairlift. Everybody on the mountain craning their necks, looking. But they can't get to me and my lover. We're isolated, out of reach, oblivious to their stares and shouts, caught in a frenzy of our insatiable desire. Do you want to try that?
No. You might have gotten away with that with George, but if you and I tried it, there'd be a sheriff waiting on the platform.
I never did that with George. George was never even in that fantasy.
But it was a man in the fantasy.
Well, I didn't know any better. We could go to Switzerland and ski the Alps. Or Spain. Do you want to go to Spain? I've never been to Spain.
I don't want to go to Spain. They throw homosexuals in jail in Spain. They'll take one look at the way my knees quiver when you look at me, and they'll lock me in the Hooskow and throw away the key. Let's go to Amsterdam. We can get married in Amsterdam.
Really?
Yeah, we're just like ordinary folks there. Nice and legal. Do you want to marry me?
I bet you say that to all your girls.
Never said it before in my life. Scout's honor. It might make your mother happy. She sounds like the kind of woman who wouldn't want you to live in sin.
What am I going to tell her?
Tell her you're with George.
I already did that. I called her the night I did it. She was hysterical for 20 minutes, but she got over it. She and George never really got along. I'm sure she's called up her friends to elicit the names of suitable, eligible men.
Tell her you have a roommate.
What if I tell her the truth?
Don't.
Why not?
Does she vote a liberal ticket? Did she march for civil rights? Did she protest the war in Vietnam? Did she boycott grapes and support the draft debaters?
No.
Don't tell her then. 10 to 1 she'll disown you as a pervert.
She wouldn't.
I did. Just say you have a roommate and keep your mouth shut. Unless, of course, you get off on verbal flagellation and suicide threats.
I don't want to have to lie to my mother. I mean, I've never lied to my mother.
Everyone has lied to another, Eva.
Not about anything important.
Annie's mother won't allow Ray in the house. Sue's brothers won't allow her to visit her nieces and nephews. Rita was trained to be a teacher. You know junior high school math? Her father called the school board and reported her. My mother feigned a suicide attempt and then had a nervous breakdown. Her shrink finally convinced her that my sexuality wasn't her fault, and now she has disowned me. She says I have faulty genes and I'm a malicious pervert, and she washes her hands of me. I keep reading stories in the gay press about how 18-year-olds announce it to their families over Thanksgiving dinner, and everybody hugs each other and it's all hunky-dory. Well, maybe that happens to 18-year-olds, but it's never happened to anyone I know. The only one I know who has remained unscathed by their family is Kitty Cochran, and that's because she has remained safely in the closet.
I don't want to lose my family, but I don't want to have to lie to them either. I want them to share in our happiness. I want them to know you and love you.
Don't tell them, Eva. Don't tell them unless you're prepared to lose them. I don't think you should tell them anything. Anyway, not yet. I mean, you and I are very new. What if something happens? What if you change your mind? I mean, this time next year you could be married to some fine upstanding dentist in Westchester.
No, you don't mean that.
Why not?
Because I love you. This might have started out as a summer fling, but it's a lot more than that now. What's the matter with you?
I'm just trying to be realistic, Eva. Things change and people change.
But you loved me. Or you said you loved me. Or is that just all part of the game? Part of the malicious perversion?
Eva, I love you. I love you more than I have loved anyone in my entire life. For the first time, I finally understand why knights ride miles to win their ladies' hands.
Oh, Lil.
And all those songs with Moon and June and Croon in them. I thought those songs were pretty silly. Now I'm singing them in the shower. Do you remember that song, You're My Everything? I used to think that was ridiculous. Nobody's anyone's everything. Now I see I was wrong.
Lil,
Yes, Angel?
do I embarrass you? Are you ashamed of me?
What?
Ever since I moved in, you don't invite your friends over anymore. I see them on the path, and they ask me how you are, and they look at me as if I've taken you away from them.
I'd rather be alone with you.
At first, I thought they didn't like me, or you were embarrassed of me. I mean, that first party, it was awful. I know I made a bad impression.
Eva, I'm proud of you.
Do you know what tomorrow is?
Saturday.
It's our anniversary. 1 month.
Here, if you cry because I forgot our anniversary.
We should celebrate tomorrow night.
Okay,
Invite your friends.
not just the two of us.
Come on, we can't live in a vacuum forever. Besides, I want to show off. I want them to see how in love we are. That I'm not such a dummy as they thought.
All right, you asked for it. Hey gang! Hey down there! A beach party at our place tomorrow night. Lobsters, clams, crabs, booze. It's our first anniversary. Bring your own booze. Next year, I'm going to buy some of that fire starter. You know that stuff in cans? Lighting a fire like this with drift and matches is an exercise in frustration.
You were a scout. You got a merit badge in beach survival.
I did, but damn if I can remember how I did it. Must have cheated.
You probably didn't do it at all. You charmed some little redhead into doing it for you.
That's not unlikely. That's how I passed home economics. Priscilla Miller, who could so seam as straight as a ruler and fry an egg without breaking the yolk, lives forever in my grateful heart. Annie, I feel terrific. I never felt so good in my whole life.
I'm glad, Lil. I'm happy for you.
Doctors aren't infallible. Sometimes the condition arrests itself, recedes, goes away. When I was at the clinic for chemotherapy, I met this woman whose tumor had just gone, disappeared, for 17 years. Then it came back, but she had a 17-year reprieve. She said she knew she couldn't die because she has to raise 3 children, and for 17 years, until her kids were grown, she didn't die. It's all in having something to live for, Annie. I have Eva to live for now.
I've known you a long time, Lil, and I don't think I've ever seen you in love before. Not like this.
It's never been like this before. Is this how it is for you, right?
Well, probably not exactly. Well, yes, I guess so. We we've kind of moved past that stage where we can't keep our hands off each other, thank goodness. It mellows out after a while, you know?
You mean the honeymoon ends?
Yes, but that's when the good stuff starts.
Okay, it couldn't get any better than this. In 10 years, we'll compare notes, all right?
You haven't told Eva, have you?
She asked about the scar. I told her I had a hysterectomy, which is true. She doesn't need to know any more than that, Annie. What else is there? They told me I'd start having short-term pain. I haven't felt a thing. I feel terrific. I'm telling you, Annie, it's gone. I know it is.
This is getting my shirt all dirty.
Come on. Come on, gang. Keep the driftwood coming.
Enough already.
You can use some help up here.
I volunteer. Anything to get out of this.
I really think this is enough. We're cooking seafood, not signaling for rescue.
One more.
You overdo. You always overdo.
Is this it?
They say we need one more pile. I say we split this. They'll never know the difference.
Oh, Jesus, that thing's alive.
They're all alive. That's how you cook them, alive.
Well, I know that, but I thought you drugged them or something first.
Nope. Straight into the fire. Alive.
I wish I hadn't seen it. It looks directly at me.
I take it you don't cook?
Only under duress. If push comes to shove, I can put a TV dinner in the oven.
Donna does the cooking?
Are you kidding? In the city, the cook does the cooking. When we travel, the hotel does the cooking, and out here we eat 2 meals a day at Molly Pitcher's.
When we count to 8, then count out these utensils, napkins, fold them up, put them in that box, and carry it downstairs.
So you travel all year round?
All my life. When I was growing up, it was Bar Harbor in the summer, a Massachusetts girls' school in the fall, Christmas in London, back to school for the winter, spring in Paris or Switzerland, back to Bar Harbor. There was a townhouse in the city we called home. My father lived there most of the time, but the rest of us wafted in and out on our way to somewhere else.
That's the kind of life my mother always dreamed of giving me.
It was a nightmare.
I never went away from school. I went to a local college and lived at home. When George and I were first married, we lived with his parents for a while until we bought a place of our own. My mother never really liked George. She thought he was dull. If Lil were male, my mother would approve of her as the perfect mate. We're gonna travel. We're gonna go to Switzerland and ski the Alps. Lil's gonna take me to Amsterdam. Did you know that you could get married in Amsterdam?
I thought you could get married anywhere.
A man and a woman can get married anywhere. I mean, Lil and me. We could get married in Amsterdam.
Whatever for.
It would be romantic.
For God's sake, don't tell Donna about it. She'd marry me and divorce me and wipe me out.
No, she wouldn't.
Oh, yes, she would.
Well, I'm just glad I married George. I was with him for 12 years. Without that marriage contract, I might not get a thing.
You may not get a thing. I didn't. Not one red cent. I put him through school, raised 2 kids, kept his house. Now, if he'd left me, I'd have had to buy the short hairs. But I left him. See, and I left him for a woman. The only way he'd agree to let me keep the kids is if I forfeited my suit for child support. And he's putting my kids through college.
But George and I bought that house together. We furnished it together. He made investments in the market for the both of us.
In your name?
I don't know. George took care of those things.
Did he beat you up?
No,
Have a mistress?
I don't know. He might have.
Unless you can prove abuse or adultery, you're probably out of luck, sweetheart, at least in this state. You left him. And for heaven's sake, don't ever let him know you left him for Lil. Zilch. You'll get zilch.
I don't know how to make a living. George always made good money. I don't know how to be anything but a housewife.
Me too. And I'm good at it. I like to make it home. I like to shop, cook, clean. When my kids back up or Annie and I have a fight, I like to get down on my knees with a scrub brush and wash that kitchen floor until it squeaks. It's a blasphemous thing to say in this age of kitty Cochran feminism, but I like creating an environment that's warm and pretty for the people I love.
How did you tell your kids about you and Annie?
Well, we worried ourselves sick about that. We practiced just how we were going to tell them, but before we got up the courage to do it, they told us. They'd known it all along. My daughter went through a bad period about it when she was 13, 14. You know, girls that age can't stand to be the least bit different. Having a lesbian mother was an embarrassment, I guess. Even now, we're not as close as I'd like to be. We get along all right, but something's missing between us. My boy didn't faze him. He's a good kid, hair down to his ass, but a mother can't have everything. All right, Eva, grab that pot, will you? And can you carry this? Be careful. Hold it upright.
What is it?
Get your nose out of there. It's a surprise.
It's a cake!
Happy number 1, and many more.
And many more.
Well, I should hope so. We've only been together a month. I expect we'll stay together until we're 90.
Fire's going good.
At last.
You haven't done a thing to help.
I did so. I carried wood.
Donna, I can use some help with this.
Donna.
Would you give her a break? She's damned nice to you. Show some respect.
She doesn't want me to be nice to her. Don't you know that? If I were nice to her, she'd drop me in a minute.
You understand that?
Yes.
You would.
Sue lacks self-esteem, so she asks Donna to reinforce that she, Sue, is, in fact, not worthy of receiving love. If Donna were to demonstrate affection for Sue, Sue would feel betrayed, and her emotional dependence on Donna would no doubt cease. It's a classic interaction between brothers. Symptoms range from battering to emotional flagellation. It is not infrequently found in parent-child and employer-employee relationships, as well as those of mates. In the case of Donna and Sue, Donna does, in fact, harbor affection for Sue, but she senses accurately that to demonstrate that affection would jeopardize the entire game upon which the relationship is based. It is this guilt that causes Donna to act promiscuously, as in the case of Lil, where Donna wants Lil to punish her in the same way that she has punished Sue.
I'm sorry you asked that. Not as sorry as I am.
Okay, hold up. So you're saying Donna wants Lil to beat her up?
Emotionally, dear. Emotionally.
Because she feels so guilty because she's so nasty to Sue.
That's right.
Well, why is she so nasty to Sue?
Don't you say that. I got ahead the first time. Donna is nasty to Sue because Sue's a sap and Donna's a cunt.
Well, I suppose that's another way of saying it.
Where's the beer? You forgot the beer?
I left it on the counter. The big blue cooler, I thought you had it, Sue.
I thought Donna got it. I only carried what you handed me, Sue. I'm not a mind reader.
I'll go back.
Oh, no, honey, I'll go.
Oh, no, you don't. I'll get it.
No, I said I'll go.
Let Annie go. That cooler's heavy.
So what?
Listen to Kitty. She's your doctor.
She's not my doctor. There's nothing wrong with me.
Out of the way, pal.
I said I'm going. Annie, come on. Don't do this to me, Kitty.
Let them go.
What was that?
Read give me a hand here, will you? Annie, take this off, please.
What happened?
Nothing happened. Sue?
Don't you make me touch one of those evil-looking critters.
Something happened, but I didn't understand. They swear they feel fine.
Maybe they do.
They say being in love has cured them.
I want that to be true again. I want a miracle for them.
Jesus, Lil! I'm an Amazon! I can lift bull elephants above my head. I can slay dragons to win my lady's hand. Don't, Annie, you'll upset my balance. Voila. See? Now get the hell off my back.
She's only trying to help you.
I don't need her help. Lil! Don't touch me. I'm gonna be all right. Eva, it's nothing. I'm gonna be just fine. Eva, I promise.
Help me get them up the stairs.
What's going on? What are you doing to them? Lil?
You get their shoulders.
Eva, hang in there, pal. You're gonna be all right. What's going on? What's happening to them?
Sorry, Eva. Out of the way.
Lil? Lil, listen to me. You're wasting your breath, Kitty.
Lil, you're stubborn as a mule.
Don't lecture me, Kitty.
Put on your bathrobe. Where's their robe?
Go to hell!
Put this on. You just got out of the hospital, for Christ's sake. You're going to lie down and get some rest if I have to tie you to the bed. Can't you know some sense, ma'am?
I'm their best friend, not their keeper.
They want to go fishing.
I feel fine.
I'm unpacking this.
I can see that you are.
They said to unpack it.
I'm not going back to the hospital, Kitty.
You're self-destructive.
My lungs are fine. My lungs have always been fine. My liver's fine too.
Lil, lie down, please.
Stop trying to turn me into an invalid, Kitty.
Just walked out of the hospital. Just walked out.
I'm an adult human being. I have a few civil rights left.
Lil, you're not being reasonable.
Fuck reasonable. This is my body, my life. I'll decide what's going to happen to me.
Lil.
Don't you start on me. You're supposed to be on my side.
There are no sides. You need surgery.
Sure, I need surgery this month, and I'll need it again next month, and again in 2 months. You know the statistics, Kitty.
It will prolong your life, Lil.
In a hospital bed? No thanks.
You could let them try the cobalt again.
You responded very well to chemotherapy last spring.
For 6 months, for 6 weeks, I was nauseated. My hair was falling out. I broke out in blotches. I was so weak I could hardly get from one room to the next. Ray and Annie were waiting on me day and night.
We didn't mind.
I mind.
You felt fine until last week on the beach.
And I feel fine again now. Without operations, without treatments, I feel fine.
Bullshit, Lil.
They've already got my ovaries, uterus, tubes. If I'm going with my hair, guts, breasts, whatever I've got left. I'm going as a person, not a patient. I'm going wanting to live, not wishing I were dead.
You are stubborn and bullheaded, and you never let anyone help you. There's a part of you I've never reached. You always shut the door.
You and I were terrible together, Kitty, just terrible. We competed with each other all the time. Our relationship was a constant exercise, and can you top this?
They thought I was a coward when I stopped practicing medicine.
I didn't.
They didn't.
I know.
Well, my mother always wanted me to marry a doctor.
Plus, they thought you looked sexy in that white coat. I never could see it myself.
Those 2 years with you, Will, they were special.
Well, try to remember the good parts, huh?
Oh, I never want to forget knocking on that door of that motel room. Whenever I take myself seriously, I want to think of that. I must have looked like 12 times a jackass.
You did. You did.
Don't let me forget that, huh?
Count on it.
How much time do I have left, Kitty? Don't you go soft on me. I need you now.
I'm here. I'm right here.
How much time?
Lil, there's new growth. It could accelerate, or you could go into remission again.
Is that likely?
It happens sometimes.
The worst that could happen, Kitty, the bottom line.
Don't put me in this position, Lil.
6 months?
Answer them, Kitty.
Less.
3?
Maybe.
6 weeks of feeling good.
At least.
Why is this happening to me, Kitty? Why is it happening to you, or Annie, or Rita, or Ray? Why not Sue? Why not Donna? You all so much worthier than I am? I'm in love, for God's sake. For the first time in my life, I finally feel alive. Damn you!
Do something. Help them.
It's all right.
It's not all right.
I'm going to fish with you, my friend, out on that rock, every day. I'm the first one to catch 2 blues, buys lunch and drinks at Molly Pitcher's.
I'm not much good at fishing.
I'll teach you all my tricks. And you never beat me in a game of poker yet.
That's because you cheat.
Me? The scout? Cheat? 8 o'clock tonight. I'll teach you how to fake. Quarters.
Aw, pennies, Lil.
Quarters, Kitty! Tightwad, jeez. I'm offering her trade secrets, and she's hassling me over quarters. Now I ask you, is that gratitude?
Don't slosh that, it's hot.
Her hands are shaking. Smells delicious.
Actually, it's very bland. The doctors have him on a lot of medication, so Kitty told me to make it easy on her stomach. Don't let them load it with salt.
I wish someone would have told me.
Would it have made a difference?
I don't know. It might have.
Hey, it's Eva.
Took you that long to open a can of chicken noodle?
I made it from scratch. Only the best for Lil.
Lil could have starved while we were here.
Soup. Ray made it for you. Fuck Ray soup!
Gee, thanks.
Welcome home.
Ditto.
Look, this needs salt.
They can't have salt.
It's too bland, honey. It has no taste.
Anybody else get the feeling we're not wanted?
Stay away from that soup. It tastes terrible.
If you need me, Lil, I'll be on the beach.
She'll be in the cabin. You've been in that hospital day and night. You're going to bed.
I'll be on the beach, Lil.
But Kitty, we haven't been alone together in over a week.
I'll be in the cabin, Lil.
Why don't we have lunch at Molly Pitcher's today with Dawn and Sue?
Because there's this pot of soup this big on the kitchen counter.
I was afraid of that.
Well, I'm back. Fit as a fiddle. You're going to be just fine. Oh yeah, I always said I could lick this thing. Don't let the soup get cold. You didn't know you were getting damaged merchandise, did you, Eva? I'm sorry. Well, stop that. It changes everything.
No, it doesn't. When you get to feeling better, we'll travel to Europe just like we planned.
Sure.
We can go to Switzerland. We don't have to ski.
I couldn't tell you.
I know. We could ride the chairlift up the Alps.
I just couldn't tell you.
Tiny villages sparkling in the snow.
There's no snow in Switzerland this time of year.
We'll go to Amsterdam then. Maybe Ray and Annie can come with us. Someone has to give me away.
Nobody can give you away, Eva. You don't belong to anybody but yourself.
You're not feeling well. You're upset.
I feel fine. Alley cats recover very quickly.
When we get finished traveling, we could rent a cabin in New England for the fall. We can watch movies together. We could read books together. I could read your favorite books to you.
Do me a favor. Do yourself a favor, Eva. Leave me.
We'll stop that.
I mean it. I bet I've had 100 women in my life. What makes you think I'd want to spend the rest of it with you? And your memories of George and your goddamn furniture and your uptight mother?
Lil, don't.
I mean it. I want to do some living before I die. Where's Donna? I want to see Donna. Get out of here, Eva. Get out of my life.
That's always worked for you, hasn't it? One act of bravado and you're off the hook. You always have to catch the biggest fish, win at every card game, seduce every woman you encounter. As long as you're winning, Lil, you're just fine. But the moment things go wrong, you leap out the motel window. We love each other, Lil. That's a commitment.
Next year, someone else will be standing at this window watching a July sunset, and Ray and Annie will be sitting here, sipping drinks, and they'll say to this stranger at the window, "Beautiful sunset, huh?" Lil loved that sunset. They thought God put that rock down there just for them. When they stood on it with the wind spraying the salt so high they could taste it on their lips, they thought they were queen of Bluefish Cove. I can't say goodbye to that beach out there, Eva. I can't say goodbye to Annie or to Kitty. How am I supposed to say goodbye to you?
So cold. I didn't know it got chilly along the beach.
Well, we've never had the occasion to be out here in late fall.
Hold that scarf around your neck, Chloe. I don't want you to catch a cold. Pre-promotion tours next week, and it'd be disastrous if you developed laryngitis.
What would you think if I opened up my office again?
You mean go back to practicing?
Lil always felt like I was copping out.
I guess it's over now in Michigan. The service was at 1 o'clock.
I can't believe they took them.
They're their family, honey. They have the legal right.
They wanted to be buried here. Their mother and father disowned them.
Well, they did fly down here and stay by them at the end.
Stay by them? They guarded them from us.
I didn't know what to do with all this stuff. Toothpaste, bubble bath, aspirin.
I promise, Margie, we cleared this place out. Just put it over there. So.
Lil wanted me to get some of their old clothes to a little women's shelter.
You can't give this sport shirt to anybody. It's torn in half a dozen places.
Fine, let's throw it out there.
I'd like to have that.
Maybe we should keep these toiletries with us for next year. It'd be a shame to throw them all away.
What about this tackle box?
Oh, Lil wanted Annie to have that.
I'll take it down to her.
I wonder who will have this cabin next summer.
How about you, Eva?
I don't think so, Kitty. I couldn't afford it anyway.
You can always stay with us.
I'm taking an office management course in January, thanks to Sue.
Well, you know, if I start practicing again, I'll need a new office manager.
Thanks. I'm applying to a lot of corporations in Europe, places where I can travel, have some adventures.
they loved you very much.
I know.
And I half expect to see Donna here.
I don't think she knows Kitty. I don't know where to contact her.
That was the healthiest thing you ever did, Sue.
Did you say so?
All right, I think that's everything. Let's start clearing this place out.
Hey, Ray, Rita, let's go!
What is that, honey?
It was their favorite lure. They used it for the bluefish. Next year, we're gonna build a barbecue pit out here. It'll be our summer project.
My summer project is going to be to mine the sun with my feet up.
I don't know how much time I'll have next summer. I mean, if I start practicing again, I'll have office hours, weekdays.
I think I'll hate it. I think I'll hate it when you're on call. You'll be tired all the time.
I wouldn't miss a summer at Bluefish Cove for anything. Somehow puts my whole year in perspective.
You coming, Eva?
Yes, I'm coming.
Need a hand?
No thanks, Annie. I can make it by myself.